Welcome to Almost Here, Round the Corner Future Technology podcasts with Richard Jacobs. Future technologies poised to transform our lives for better or worse are the focus of this podcast. Almost here means these technologies are now here and starting to be used, or just around the corner, from Bitcoin to artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Future Tech Podcast. This is Juliette Lamar, your host. Today we have with us Andrey Teryoshin. He is a partner at Bitcab. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. I'm Andrey Teryoshin.
So good for you to join us, Andrey. Now, can you give our listeners a little insight into what Bitcab is?
Well, Bitcab is a ride-sharing platform based on the blockchain technology and cryptocurrency technology. Why did we choose this this particular business for blockchain and cryptocurrency business? Because actually, ride-sharing is a platform based on a network, and blockchain is probably the best way to organize a network. For 6 reasons. The first one is no centralized party to extract rent from the network, or no one can control over it. Market mechanism to set fairer prices. More freedom for drivers and riders. They can set their own prices and transact directly. Loyalty and stronger network effects. Tokenization enables long-term loyalty incentives. I can explain the details later on. Lower costs by unbundling the offering, and superior growth mechanism, long-term referral mechanism, airdrops, and crypto community can also provide the initial critical mass to get the Bitcab network going. So basically, So how it works? It's a ride-sharing platform where the tokens that we are going to issue will be the let's say internal currency of our ecosystem, and since the token as any cryptocurrency, we can have a control over the emission. So we can let's say inside our community we can use our emission of our tokens for kind of payments to all members of the ecosystem. So let's say there are drivers and who in a classic ride-sharing app, for example, who does this kind of business? Who will approve new drivers to get into the ecosystem? It's a kind of job. So there are people organized in departments that do this job. Well, in our system, it will be there won't be any hierarchical organization. So who will do this job? Just members of the ecosystem. So let's say they take the role. Let's call this role approver, and the approver will meet the driver, see his or her car, and make a decision if this driver with this particular car will contribute to the ecosystem. Is it good to have him on board? Yes. If the answer is yes, he approves him to be part of the ecosystem, and at the same time he gets the incentives by our token. So we can have an emission of the token and give him this incentive. That's why actually the system works. The cryptocurrency and blockchain technology are the best ways to work in this kind of business.
So this is really going to improve and disrupt our ride-sharing facilities.
I believe in it. I believe so. Yes.
And right now, I mean, what are the main things? You touched them a little bit, but what are some of the pressure points for the ride-sharing technology that we have that you really think need to be changed right away?
I would say the most significant problem of ride-sharing apps now is that they don't earn. They burn money. They burn money of the investors. And in our technology, it's impossible to burn any money because there is no money inside. There is no there are no money. So we kind of start a new society where we can control the emission of the money, and so it by design it's profitable from the beginning.
I see. So let's go into a few of the solutions you provide. You have token incentives, you've got social incentives, and you have a gamified experience.
Yes. Gamified experience is also part of the growth mechanism, I believe, because we can say, okay, driver, you can because we are going to have actually two kind of tokens. Long-term tokens and let's call them immediate tokens. So long-term tokens, they have a vesting period, so you cannot sell them earlier than, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. And so we can say the driver, if, for example, during this month you can you will take 100 passengers, no one will give you the mark below 4, and at the same time you will do A, B, C, D, E, F, something else, you will have this number of long-term tokens. So it's a kind of bonus. It's a kind of deferred bonus, but you can have it, and you can become a rich person in the 1 year if you meet certain requirements, let's say, and this kind of gamification can be different from 1 month to another. So in 1 month, your task is this, and the next month your task is another task, and so yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of tokens, and I hope a lot of money in the end of the story for every participant of the ecosystem.
So you can use the cab tokens in many different ways with Bitcab, and can you use them in other ways as well for goods and services within the ecosystem?
It's a long story. Of course, now we don't have like really long-term plans about how to develop the system outside this core functionality. But of course, when we dream about the future, we say that we can also expand our activity, other people activity. Like, let's say, okay, we can start also, any kind of sharing, involve any kind of sharing economy to our ecosystem, and so people can use Bitcab tokens also for other sharing economy payments. And the second answer for this question is, of course, if our community will grow, the token will become a really solid currency, growing currency, and of course people can start using it as just a currency, just cryptocurrency like Ethereum or Bitcoin for
Fantastic.
Any kind of needs.
And when you're using Bitcab, riders and drivers, they can use either the tokens or they can use fiat.
It's a good question, because in order to let our ecosystem grow, we of course we have to make the customer experience very easy and very customer friendly, and so we can give the opportunity to have a payments in fiat, but it's going to be based on cap token, because otherwise we can't actually grow the ecosystem, because of course we can say, okay, you can pay in US dollar or in euro, but it's going to be like immediate currency exchange from cap to this kind of currency. But of course we are going to make the customer experience very friendly, and people can use any currency they want.
Fantastic. Give us a little bit of insight into your background in this space and the team that you work with.
Actually, my background is the following. I graduated. I have graduated economic faculty of Moscow University. I did my own startups like after the university, I started doing my own startups, but it was kind of more than 15 years ago. So the startups in that time were like in a more traditional economy. So I have an entrepreneurial experience. Then, after certain success, but not like very huge success, I decided to get more corporate experience. So I went to MBA. I graduated MBA program in Italy, and then I came back to Russia. Started working with McKinsey. So I spent a few years in McKinsey. Then I moved to a strategy team in the second largest Russian bank, and I still work with them. And so I have a consulting experience, strategy experience, entrepreneurial experience, and then we, with a couple of friends, decided to move to entrepreneurial sphere again. And so that's why we started this kind of business, being excited by blockchain technology and cryptocurrency growth.
Fantastic. And you already have a lot of solutions, and I know that it is still in the very beginning stages of the company. Where do you see
to be honest, yeah, we are in the early stage of the company. So we are working on MVP now. And
what kind of goals do you have set for the future?
Well, we really believe that our technology can basically substitute all the ride-sharing apps in the world.
Wow.
It's very easy because all of them, we have also in Russia, we have some local players, not only Uber. Actually, Uber is not the most is not the largest ride-sharing company in Russia, and all of them, they really burn money of the investors. They cannot earn, they cannot make money. They just cannot by design.
Got it.
So it's just impossible for them to. How long will investor how long they will wait till they say, okay, stop it. I cannot invest. I don't want to invest to Uber or any other ride sharing companies anymore. How long will it take? I think this moment is not very far away.
And for other people,
but at the same time, sorry to interrupt you. But at the same time, I really believe in sharing economy. I really believe that Uber did the fantastic things promoting sharing economy in the world. Then all other companies that followed Uber, like Airbnb, BlaBlaCar, any other truck. I don't remember the name. But I know that in the US there is a huge
Lyft?
right. Not Lyft. Lyft is the same as Uber, but I think there is a startup kind of Uber for truck drivers. Yeah, I don't remember the name, but I think it's quite big too. So sharing economy is a fantastic thing that was born like a few years ago, thanks to Uber, thanks to Airbnb, and I think the future in the world is here, because people really don't want to own anything; they just want to use things. They don't want to be limited by owning something.
It's a whole new way to look at the world, truly, is you're utilizing things, and that would cut down on waste. It would cut down on financial issues for people if you could entirely share things that are disposable, say rides and traveling locations to stay and things of that nature.
Yeah, exactly. And actually see how the mindset of young people is shifting now. I can see it even in my country, which is not like very contemporary and modern in any sense. So, but still I see that young people, even in Russia, they really, they're not obsessed with having a new car, with having an apartment. They say we just can use it. We don't need to own it. And it's a fantastic shift in the mindset.
Why do you think that shift is happening? With our world today, what do you think is the driving factor?
Well, I think really the first driving factor is the promotion of this idea, that this idea became clear because of Uber and Airbnb. So just because there are examples that this is possible. And in a certain moment, the scale, how you call it, how to say it in English, the number of users, the number of the number of users knowing and using Airbnb or reach the critical mass. And after that, it's become really popular and really widespread. I think this is actually the major reason, because it's just in a certain moment, the number of users reached the critical mass, and it became clear for majority of the population that, wow, it works.
Which is not the case for a lot of different things and technologies, but this is something that is on the table. It's going to work, and it just depends on how fast we can adapt to it.
So, well, why it happened really now? Probably, I think also another success factor is the smartphone penetration. I think two things came together. Yeah, the information that it is possible, the examples that it works, and the smartphone penetration. I think basically yes.
So it's so exciting time to be involved in these technologies and to really start looking at the world through different eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Because I remember there was a company, Couchsurfing. I think it exists even now. They were kind of they started the activity kind of similar to Airbnb, but they started it a bit earlier than the smartphone penetration reached a certain level. And that's why probably they're not as successful as Airbnb is. Yeah, so probably the smartphone penetration is also an important factor. Yeah.
Getting back to Bitcab, do you need to download a specific kind of wallet to hold on to the currency, to the tokens? And then also, what countries are you available in?
There's no requirements for a specific wallet. It might be. I mean, we are basically working on the on a wallet on our website now. But I think in the afterwards, people can use any kind of wallet that is available in the cryptocurrency world. Also, we have a agreement of how to say English, agreement of friendship with Syscoin. So I think from in the beginning we can use their technology for for cap token emission. And the second question about the countries where we are available. So basically, even though the team is mostly Russian team, we don't feel limited to any geographic locations. So we're going to start like from any country, from any geography where people will demonstrate interest to our technology. But I think for the pilot project, we will start from the country where the regulation is is friendly to cryptocurrency world, probably from some of the Eastern European country or from probably Asian country. We didn't make this choice yet.
Wonderful. So what is the best place for people to find out more information and to follow your journey and potentially use your services?
Well, I think we are working on our website. So our website is actually provides all necessary information about us. There is also a wonderful video in the website which explains in 1 minute the essence of our product. And also we have a Telegram channel. People can follow the news that we publish almost every day, and can also have a chat with each other.
Fantastic. Well, Andrey, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Well, Andrey, thank you so much.
Thank you too.
That is Andrey Teryoshin. He is a partner at Bitcab. You can find them at bitcab.io, bitcab.io. Thank you all so much for joining us here today. This has been Juliet Lamar of Future Tech Podcast.
You have been listening to Almost Here, Around the Corner Future Technology Podcast with Richard Jacobs. Subscribe to this podcast, post a review to discover more future technologies that are poised to transform our lives for better or worse, such as Bitcoin, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.